Hey, you ever accidentally masturbate to young pictures of your mom?
Who the f*** starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Glenn Quagmire has survived things that would have killed 100 normal men. Sharks, girlfriends, injuries, even Tinder itself. This guy has been wrecked in every way possible and somehow still crawls back with a giggity.
Come back here, you! Giggity, giggity, crabbity, giggity.
He is basically a disaster magnet with a pilot's license. So today, we are counting down the times Quagmire got absolutely destroyed and somehow did not end up in a body bag. Let's start the show. You ever wonder what would finally take Quagmire out for good? Well, in season 16, episode 19, the guy almost got erased from history by a shark. And not just any shark, the one that went straight for his family jewels. What started as a fun day on Joe's brand new speedboat quickly turned into the most painful giggity of his life. It begins with Peter at the wheel, which is already a red flag. Watching him try to launch that boat is like watching a drunk raccoon solve a Rubik's Cube. After several failed attempts and one new entry into the Darwin Awards, he drives the entire car into the ocean. Somehow the boat still floats, and the guys get ready for some skiing. Quagmire, never one to back down from showing off, is the first to strap in, but the moment he hits the water, he wipes out, and his body lands right into the gaping jaws of a shark. The guys freak out.
Quagmire, are you okay?
Do I look okay?
I think you'll be fine. You just gotta wipe that squashed tomato off your crotch.
The aftermath is brutal. At the hospital, Dr. Hartman tells Quagmire he is lucky to be alive, but his love cannon is gone for good. Quagmire has a full meltdown, screaming like a man who just lost Wi-Fi in the middle of his favorite stream.
At least you're not this pathetic guy who couldn't get his boat in the water.
Stop looking at us.
Well, at least he's not losing his thing. Back home, the guys try to help, but their idea of comfort is blocking all adult sites on his new laptop and leaving him with bird documentaries.
I like to research birds. Try to learn a bird a day.
Well, not that necessarily, but...
You got your robin.
Wow, you really know your stuff.
Nothing like learning about penguins flirting while your manhood is on ice.
Look, I appreciate what you're trying to do, guys, but this is a disaster. You don't understand what that meant to me. We did everything together.
Things get darker when Quagmire tries ventriloquism. What starts as a puppet show turns into an onstage therapy session about his missing manhood. The gang has to rush the stage before he completely loses it in front of strangers.
Peter, you could get free tacos with me.
It worked!
But in true Family Guy fashion, the solution is insane. Quagmire's dad shows up with Grandma's old sausage prosthetic. And yes, Dr. Hartman actually transplants it. Hours later, Quagmire wakes up with a new attachment. It may not work perfectly, but it is enough for him to scream giggity through the pain. Surviving a shark should have been enough to slow him down. But in his next wreck, Quagmire nearly died not from nature, but from pleasure itself.
My dad didn't mention there's a 4-inch mole on the left side.
What?
Uh-huh. It's like the size of a 50-cent piece and a dime kissing each other.
In season 23, episode 9, Quagmire proves that even pleasure can be fatal. The guys notice he's been sneaking off early every night, which is suspicious for a man who usually treats last call like the Olympics. They assume he's hiding something, and of course Peter declares, "We've got a mystery on our hands." So they tail Quagmire like dollar store detectives. Peter even tries to set the mood with an action-themed song until Cleveland ruins it with smooth jazz.
Will you guys please turn off your terrible theme songs?
Sorry, Joe.
By the time Joe gets distracted by a monster truck wheelchair ad, they've already lost him. Best detectives ever. The truth comes out the next morning when they barge into Quagmire's house and find him in bed with a mysterious woman. He scrambles to cover her face with pillows, but it's too late. The woman is revealed. It's Elle, the librarian. That's right. The smell of old books and overdue fines turned out to be Quagmire's new addiction.
Come on, don't encourage him.
Quagmire admits he kept her a secret because he actually likes her. She's smart, she gets him, and best of all, she accepts his weird skin problems. For once, it seems like he's found someone who's not just a one-night giggity.
Believe it or not, fellas, she's the best I've ever had in bed.
The librarian?
Yeah.
But here's where things take a dark turn. Al's decades of reading cosmopolitan magazines turned her into an unstoppable bedroom machine. Quagmire insists she's the best he's ever had, but her stamina is literally deadly. After one night to many, his body gives out. He collapses with what the doctor calls a pleasure-induced aneurysm.
What happened?
OIA, orgasm-induced aneurysm. Poor guy slept with someone out of his league.
But after almost dying in bed, you'd think Quagmire would slow down. Instead, his next wreck came from finding a girlfriend who treated him like a punching bag. Quagmire losing his pilot job should have been a red flag from the very start. In Season 15, Episode 3, that career setback snowballs fast. Instead of finding a normal job like any sane person would, Quagmire turns to dancing for money. And the moment Peter steps in as his self-proclaimed manager, you can already feel the disaster brewing. At first, it almost plays off like a harmless gag. Quagmire is out there trying to shake it for some quick cash, while Peter looks on, pretending to support him, but the joke wears thin fast. Within days, Peter completely reinvents himself as Big Pete. He's strutting around in ridiculous outfits, shouting at Quagmire like a drill sergeant, and turning what should have been a silly side hustle into full-blown exploitation. Quagmire is exhausted, begging for just one night off, but Peter keeps telling him to suck it up. It's less about friendship and more about Peter's ego trip.
Nobody's gonna want you if you're fat. You wanna eat? Get up to that bar and earn your keep.
Then comes the client that changes everything. Peter lines Quagmire up with someone he clearly has no business being with. The second the door closes, Quagmire is tossed around like a rag doll. He's out of his league, overwhelmed, and desperate for help. Peter storms in, trying to play hero, but within seconds he's folded in half just like Quagmire. Both of them end up sprawled on the floor.
I'm sorry about all this. I guess I just got caught up in the money and assumed you were okay with it because of the sex.
And as bad as that is, the next story shows Quagmire getting wrecked in a way that's way more personal, and it involves family. When Quagmire tries to help his sister, things get dark fast. In Season 10, Episode 3, what starts as him recovering from one of his usual humiliations turns into a brutal fight for survival against her abusive boyfriend Jeff. And by the end of this story, Quagmire is so beaten down that it's a miracle he's still breathing. It all kicks off after Quagmire lands in the hospital for autoerotic asphyxiation. Yeah, leave it to him to almost die in the weirdest way possible. His sister Brenda shows up to check on him, but she isn't alone. She's with Jeff, a guy so controlling and insecure he even gets jealous of Quagmire just for hugging his own sister.
Relax, Jeff, that's your brother.
Yeah, that's how it starts. Come on, Brenda, we gotta get out of here. I need cigarettes and jeans.
At first, it's just constant insults and screaming matches. Quagmire can't even sleep at night because Jeff is shouting at Brenda over the dumbest things.
Jeez, Quagmire, you look terrible.
I didn't get any sleep.
Quagmire tries to get help. He talks to Lois, he talks to Joe, but no one can step in unless Brenda files a complaint herself. Even during an intervention where everyone pours out their hearts, Brenda defends Jeff, and then Jeff drops the nuclear bomb. Brenda is pregnant, and they're getting married. Quagmire's horror is written all over his face.
You're getting married?
Yeah, but only 'cause she's pregnant. Pregnant?
Oh, congratulations! Have you thought of any names yet?
That's when the guys realize they can't wait for the system to save her. They invite Jeff on a hunting trip, planning to accidentally take care of him in the woods. But of course, Jeff figures it out. He flips the plan, knocks out Peter and Joe, and drags Quagmire off into the forest. What follows is brutal. Jeff beats Quagmire half to death, choking him out and leaving him for dead before wandering off to dig a shallow grave.
What the hell?
But this is Quagmire we're talking about. The guy chokes himself daily for fun. He survives, pulls himself together, and in a wild twist, runs Jeff down with his car. The impact is vicious, finally ending one of the darkest Family Guy storylines. Quagmire saves his sister, but not before nearly losing his life in the process. And if you thought almost dying in the woods was bad, wait until you see what happens when Quagmire discovers the world of Tinder. Quagmire's worst habits always come back to bite him, but nothing hit harder than the time he discovered Tinder. In Season 15, Episode 14, the man who already lived like a walking HR violation found an app designed for endless hookups, and the results nearly killed him. It all begins when the guys introduce Quagmire to the world of swiping. He's skeptical at first, asking if it's just some kind of hook or scam, but the second he realizes it's real, his eyes light up like a kid who just found out Halloween candy is free.
Okay, let's get me set up on this Tinder thing. I can't wait to start getting laid at the push of a button.
Within hours, he's swiping nonstop, booking more dates than most people have in a lifetime.
She says come over right now. Peter, hand me that KY jelly.
At first, it's played for laughs. Quagmire's bouncing from one woman to the next, acting like he just won the lottery. But it quickly spirals into an obsession, days turn into weeks, and the guy basically vanishes from his normal life. When Peter and the others finally check on him, they find Quagmire holed up in his house, pale, twitchy, and muttering swipe like a raccoon hopped up on Red Bull. He's surrounded by empty wrappers, old tissues, and what looks like the world's saddest crime scene.
Oh my God, he's lost it. That app's turned Quagmire into some kind of sex ghoul.
Peter tries to intervene, but Quagmire has lost it. He insists he has no friends anymore, only matches. The joke gets darker when he even tries swiping on random objects around the house. He's so far gone that Tinder isn't just an app, it's his entire personality.
You guys can just forget it. I'm not quitting Tinder.
Finally, the guys trick him with a fake setup, a woman hired to show him what a real connection looks like. For a moment, it works. Quagmire seems to snap out of it, even showing signs of wanting something real. But this is Family Guy, so of course it all goes sideways. The woman he connects with turns out to be an assassin.
I'm just glad she's a prostitute and not that lady murderer that's been all over the news.
Hi, I'm that prostitute you guys hired to seduce your friend.
And if you think an app nearly killed him, the next moment proves his friends might be even more dangerous than Tinder. Halloween is supposed to be a night of harmless scares, but for Quagmire it turned into a near-death experience. In Season 9, Episode 4, Peter and Joe decided to prank him, and what started with a couple of eggs ended with Quagmire strapped into a kamikaze-level revenge plot. It begins with Joe catfishing Quagmire as a girl named Jessica. The two of them flirt, laugh, and Quagmire even starts falling for her. Then Joe reveals the truth, and Quagmire has a meltdown when he realizes he's been sexting with his neighbor. But the prank doesn't stop there. Peter and Joe cook up something even more twisted, injecting him with diseases like they're playing Pokemon. They throw everything at him, and somehow, Quagmire's immune system tanks it all like he's a Marvel superhero.
Meningitis.
I'm a carrier.
Gonorrhea.
Patient zero. You're gonna have to do better than that.
But Peter isn't satisfied with failure. He actually travels overseas, catches a mosquito carrying some unknown virus, and brings it back just to bite Quagmire. This time it works. Quagmire swells up. Of course, Quagmire plays it cool afterward, smiling and laughing on the outside, but inside, he's seething. And when he invites Peter and Joe on a casual joyride in a vintage Japanese Zero warplane, you can feel where this is going. At first, it's all laughs, like some weird historical theme park ride, but then Quagmire flips the switch. He starts diving the plane toward the docks, screaming about his kamikaze blood, and Peter realizes this isn't a prank anymore, it's revenge.
What the hell was that?
Prank's on you, That was for making me have sex with Joe, you sons of bitch.
You guys actually had
I'll leave it here, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or you will hook up with Quagmire. Bye.